Planning Review and Appearance Board meeting of June 26, 2024. Do we have the recording running?
Yes.
Excellent. And call to order.
Okay. Need to take attendance?
Yes, please.
Attendance. Okay, Dana Adler is absent, Annette Gray is absent, Adam Nelson,
Here.
Keith Beal,
Here.
Jose Alvarez,
Here.
Linda Perdot. Here. Stephen Cohen.
Here. Okay, might need some help, William. So let's see. The first item is to approve the agenda from previous meetings, which,
Well, Chair, that'd be the agenda for this meeting,
okay.
and then the next would be minutes for the past meetings.
Oh, okay. So are there any changes to the agenda for this meeting? Do we need to?
No changes.
Okay, so we don't need to do any roll call for that, do we?
No, you need a motion and a second, and then a roll call. Yep.
So a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting. Can I get a motion from somebody?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Seconded.
Okay. Dana Adler is absent, Annette Gray is absent, Adam Nelson,
Yes.
Keith Beal,
Yes.
Jose Alvarez,
Yes.
Linda Perdot. Yes. Stephen Cohen.
Yes. Okay, next item is the approval of the minutes of May 22nd, 2024. Any comments, or can I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, Dana Adler is absent, Annette Gray is absent, Adam Nelson,
Yes.
Keith Beal,
Yes.
Jose Alvarez,
Yes.
Linda Perdot. Yes. Stephen Cohen.
Yes. Okay, now let's swear in the public, please.
Please raise your right hand. By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Excellent. Okay. So, reading of the quasi-judicial rules, it says may be read by chair. I assume I have to read these?
Yeah, if we want to do comments from the public first, that's fine, or you can read them now either.
Oh, yeah,
Either way,
let's
Chair.
do comments. Any comments from the public? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, let's move on to the quasi-judicial rules. And okay. This hearing shall be conducted in accordance with the City of Delray Beach quasi-judicial rules. The applicant and the city shall be permitted to present their case. The public shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes each, or a maximum of 6 minutes if the person represents an organization or a group of people who are present but agree not to speak. The city commission, board members, and staff and the applicant may be allowed to cross-examine a witness. The city or the applicant will be allowed to offer rebuttal testimony. Okay. The decision to approve or deny any application or appeal may not legally be made upon personal views as to whether a project is good project or not, nor may a decision be based on the numbers of citizens who support or oppose a particular project. The law requires that all decisions must be made on the basis of whether the project meets the requirements of law, the comprehensive plan, and the land development regulations. Okay. All right, so I think now we're ready to go to the agenda, right? So do we have to talk about the, there's no consent agenda. So the first item A today, actually the only item, is the Drew Towel Retail 2021-002.
Thank you, Board. I'd like to enter for the record Drew Towel Retail, file number 2021-002, and the applicant is here to present today.
Yes.
Yes. You're first.
Chair, if we want to ask for ex parte as well.
Ah, yes. Any ex parte communication with the applicant in this matter?
just to clarify, any ex parte communication.
Any?
Yes, whether it's the applicant
Oh,
or a neighbor
not-
or,
not just
you know,
for
yeah,
the particular-
any
okay.
ex parte communications, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jordy Sophorn with RJS Architects. Our office is located at 11019 Northwest 19th Street in Coral Springs, Florida 33071. We've been working with the Drew Towels for a little while now on this small building that we're trying to design at the corner of northwest corner of 18th and Atlantic Avenue, just west of here. So here's the location, zoning in GC, general commercial. It's a small, very small site located there. It's been vacant from construction for a number of years now. Just you know, a little less than, a little more than 0.15 acres. Right now it has a billboard sign located on it, which has a long-term lease. We're trying to construct a small building, 1,360 square feet for retail use. Or it could be used for a small office building. It's a very oddly configured site because of the way that 18th Street comes off of Atlantic. So we've been envisioning this small building to be located on there, and came up with our current design. So just a single-story building where we push the building to Atlantic and to 18th Street, and putting all the parking behind there to just give it some presence along Atlantic. And we're trying to define the street, so to speak, with a small building that we're trying to create there with 6 parking spaces behind it. We have sidewalk and pedestrian paths and bicycle rack located on the site adjacent to the building. We've, on this small space, we've tried to enhance the building with landscaping fully around it. The site currently is devoid of any trees or useful vegetation, so we're bringing in all new vegetation to the site and enhancing the building that way. Here's the building. We're just creating a box right now. We don't know who the tenant is going to be. Once we start construction, then we'll start envisioning retail, or trying to entice retail businesses to come to this location. All the signage will face either the main street or the parking lot area, and some of the enhancements that we had from our last meeting till now is they asked us to open the space up more to the parking area, which we did with some additional glazing and storefront to face the parking areas. Additionally, we have enhanced the exterior from our last meeting, added some additional color. The peach color and the beiges, it's going from a dark to a light at the top, and then adding some awnings over all the exterior windows with the blue color. Just brings some splash of color to the building. And here's on the left, you can see we added the windows to face the parking area. On the right side of that north elevation, we envision this area to be the kind of back of house for possible retail, for storage, bathrooms, things like that. And the west elevation faces the adjacent property. It's right on the property line. So we wanted to have no windows on that side, even though we've articulated it to match the rest of the building. So there's our building from the street, and that's my presentation. So we're asking for a site plan approval and our architectural elevations, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about what we're trying to do?
Not yet, but
You have to wait for staff to present, right?
yes. Yep.
You have to wait for staff to present first.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, board members. For the record, Senior Planner Lexi Howald. We have today a level 2 site plan application, landscape plan, and architectural elevations for the construction of a 1,360 square foot one-story retail building. So the location is west of I-95 on West Atlantic at 2 Northwest 18th Avenue. The zoning district is general commercial, GC, with the underlining land use designation of GC. The adjacent zoning districts on the north and the east is mixed industrial and commercial. On the south is mixed residential office and commercial, and on the west is general commercial. And here we have the surrounding uses. To the west of the subject property is a gas station. Just to the north are automotive services. We have Salt Brewery to the east of that, and just south are mixed commercials. And so here are some images. You can see the gas station on the west, the Salt Brewery on to the east, and north are the automotive services, and south is the mixed commercial. And so before you, we have a request for the retail one-story at 1,360 square feet. The parking requirements are met. There's 6 in the back with 1 ADA space. There are two type 1 bicycle spaces, and there is a special landscape area of 10 feet required in front of the building on the south side, adjacent to West Atlantic, that's provided, and a 25-foot right-of-way dedication. So here, highlighted in the blue, are the 6 spaces. The dedication is highlighted in red, and the green open space exceeds the 25%, and it's highlighted in green. Here are the proposed elevations. So back in August 23, 2023, the project was considered at a SPRAB meeting. The direction was given by the board members requesting that the applicant provide more architectural detailing on the building, introduce a more welcoming color palette, add glazing on the north facade to further pronounce the front entrance, and apply architectural treatments that create a better defined storefront. The applicant has subsequently revised the elevations before you and believes the changes adequately address the concerns of the board. And so here we go into the analysis. Section 2410, level 2 site plan applications require compliance with the findings in Chapter 3, performance standards. So one of these required findings are the land use. So the GC land use is consistent with the zoning designation of GC, and retail is a permitted use. We also have concurrency. The property meets the required concurrency for portable water, drainage, traffic, parks and open space, solid waste, and schools. I would like to note, though, as a technical note, we are requesting prior to site plan certification that an updated TPS letter from Palm Beach County utilizing the most updated trip generation rates are provided before site plan certification. And we go into consistency. The development generally meets the performance standards in Article 3.2 and the Always Delray Comprehensive Plan. The overall use contributes to the mixed commercial uses in the area and incorporates public facilities such as sidewalks to provide access and connectivity along Northwest 18th Avenue to Atlantic Ave. And then we go into compliance with the land development regulations. So the zoning regulations within the GC zoning district have been met. The height is 18 feet from the top of the parapet. There is a special landscape setback that's required of 10 feet, and 10 feet and 8 inches is provided. And all the setbacks have been met, as well as the required parking and bicycle parking, and the provided open space exceeds the minimum 25%. And we go into compliance with the landscape plan. Overall, it has been determined to be in compliance. Again, we go into the special landscape setback that's required on the south side that's been provided. And various landscape options are provided, creating dense landscaping buffer between West Atlantic and the building, as well as the required interior and foundation plantings are provided to meet the minimum requirements. And here we go into the architectural elevations. So the findings relate to the architectural elevations, which address whether design is appropriate and in conformity with good taste and harmonious with the general area, and if the proposal meets the general intent of the comprehensive plan. Again, this was before the board on August 23rd, 2023, with some recommendations to alleviate or elevate the existing elevations that was proposed at the time. And so the board should consider if those concerns were addressed. And to the left-hand side, we have the proposed south and north elevation. And to the right of that is the previous elevations that were before the board in August of 2023. And here are the technical items. Prior to site plan certification, the following must be completed. Again, these are all required before site plan certification. Quickly to go over it, they're minor technical items for site plan, but the major one is the TPS letter from Palm Beach County and the right-of-way deed. I did fail to mention that, let me go back here, that there is an easement along the property that the billboard tenant and the leasee of the billboard have provided documentation to the applicant to go ahead and move forward with the project, that it does not impede into the site visibility of the billboard. So that was executed in a way that was discussed and approved by the city legal department. And so to conclude, we have the optional board options, move with approval, move approval as amended, or move denial, or move to continue with direction. And that concludes staff presentation.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments?
Chair, we actually need to do a public comment first.
Okay. Any public comments today? No. Okay. Seeing and hearing none. Any further comments?
No, that was everything that we've discussed on this project. She went through the. We've had a lot of discussion about this project to get to this point, so we feel we've addressed everything that we need to at this point. There might be some minor things that we need to finish up, which we are aware of, and we are planning to do that.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the board discussion.
I had a couple questions for the applicant, if possible.
Excellent. So you want to start?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So actually, I was in the gallery when you presented it. I was presenting my own project back in 23. So I like the improvements that you did. There's one question, one item that I had, if we can go to the elevation right there, the roof ladder. Based on my knowledge, experience, I don't believe that roof is tall enough to require a ladder, a permanent fixed ladder. And it'd be nice to pull it off the elevation, then maybe transition from lower roof to higher roof with a small parapet mounted ladder.
I believe the Florida Building Code requires a ladder because it's at 16 feet to the top of the parapet.
Okay, I saw on the elevations it showed 14 for the lower and 18 for the upper.
Is that correct? I don't recall.
It's the elevations.
If we don't need it, we wouldn't want to have it.
Okay, because the elevations do show 14 feet on the documents
Yeah.
that were submitted.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've looked at these drawings.
Yes, I got
to
you.
that detail. And at one point, it may have been a taller parapet, and
Right.
but if it's not required by code, I'd prefer it not to be there either.
Yes,
So-
that was the
Yeah.
reason for my question is it
Yeah.
would enhance that side of the elevation, much more customer friendly, not to see
Correct.
that roof ladder.
That
Correct.
was, can I follow up on that also, because that was I like what you've done, I appreciate that you come back with, a much more attractive building, but, if the ladder is necessary, could it be moved to the north side, which is basically that dead side, or does it have to be at that location?
The north side.
I'm sorry, the west side, not
The
one that
west,
faces
the
the
west side, we're right on the property line. We don't have any space over there.
I just would like to see it move from the front of the
Yeah.
building too.
Yeah, and this elevation is a little bit deceiving because there's the billboard that's there and that landscape, and there's a lot of landscape at that area on the site plan. There's a large landscape area that we're creating over there, right there. So we have, you see the large black dot? That's the billboard pole.
Yeah,
And our ladder is directly below that. And all of that landscaping there is designed to grow in around that billboard area.
then I'm confused, because to me it looks like the billboard is on the west side of the building, right?
The billboard pole,
It's
it's on the west.
The pole part
Yeah,
of
the
it.
pole is
The
on the
big
west
black
side.
dot.
Yeah, west of that,
Right,
west of the
black
handicap
dot is- okay,
parking space.
Where is the front entrance?
The front entrance is to the right of
the
that.
north.
So if you look at
East.
let's see, does this?
North and
Yeah.
east.
Does this have a pointer?
Oh, there it is, yes.
So I'm still
let's
missing
see.
where that ladder would be in
There's
relation to the
so
pole.
here, where the marker is, there is the entrance.
Okay,
Okay, here is the billboard pole. There's a large landscape area that we're creating
Right.
here, and then
Right.
right here is where that ladder is. So
okay, because to me on the other drawing, it looks like the ladder is on the front of the building.
it's facing the parking lot, but it's actually not facing the street.
Okay.
Yeah, we've hidden it, kind of tucked it away a little bit, and unfortunately, I would love to put it on the west side, but we are
Yeah.
building this building like 4 inches away from the property line.
I mean, I'm just thinking if I'm going in there to rent it,
Yeah,
and I wanna put signage up, and I wanna make it welcoming to have that ladder.
yeah,
It's not the end of the world.
yeah.
but-
We were intending to have some signage above the entry doors,
Mhm.
because that's going to be actually the closest to the parking area. The main parking stalls are all,
Right,
the
yeah.
main parking stalls are all
Right.
up here, and this is the main entrance, and we're thinking that we'd have a sign here, and then possibly a sign along the street level over here somewhere maybe on this corner. So, if the ladder is required, that's probably the best place for it. If it's not required, of course, we would rather remove it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like to see it not next to the front
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you guys kind of locked in on options of where
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would go.
This is, I think we talked about last. This is a tough site.
Yes.
It's a challenging site, and we actually got a pretty decent sized building on it, even though it's a postage stamp. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing at all. I just don't know where else we could do what else we could do with it.
I had one other follow-up on that was mechanical equipment, I'm assuming located on the roof?
Located on the roof, the
Fully
parapet is
screened.
high enough that it's going to shield it from visibility. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Done.
Adam, would you like to?
Yeah, this is a better question for you, I guess. But so I'll go back to yours. The top of the parapet wall on the drawing, it says it's 14 for the low and 18 for the high. Is the 18 for the high to cover the equipment? Because that would be the difference in whether you needed a ladder or not, according
Actually,
to
the
your information.
the 18-foot high area, we were, the lower section is where we intend on having our mechanical equipment. The higher section, thinking that this would be a retail and that we would want storage, and since it's such a small space, we figured we would go vertically with our storage. So we made it higher in that area.
So do we have to have we're just beating this ladder to death. So if we have access at the 14 feet with the lower level, does that not make it so that you don't need the ladder?
That's correct. You only need a ladder
Research
if
correctly,
it's
it's-
higher than 16 feet, which it is not. So we'll eliminate the ladder.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that just clarified a lot of things.
Yep.
Just
We'll eliminate it.
yep.
Mhm.
Perfect. That was all I have.
Okay, Linda?
Oh,
You're good?
I said my, no.
Okay, Jose?
No, I think it's definitely an improvement. I think one thing that is also deceiving from the renderings is it doesn't show like the full landscape
Yeah.
layer in front of the building as well, which is pretty heavily landscaped. So I think that's a different dimension that we're not seeing. But
Yeah, my renderer likes to show the building more than the landscape, even though we gave him a landscape plan. He's like, yep, I want to show the building. I said, okay, we'll show the building.
as a landscape architect, I go through this trouble a lot. So
I am sorry.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I think it definitely there's a layer that we're not seeing that is going to add also added street presence to this building, especially along Atlantic. That I think for the size and for what you can put there, definitely is going to be very lush landscape. So I think that's going to look nice.
Thank you. So you've kind of looked at the landscape plan and you think it's a good plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of layering and a lot of variety in species
Okay.
Along Atlantic and the perimeter buffers.
Excellent. And do we have to indicate removal of the ladder, or is that something that can just it's not really a condition?
My concern would be if the ladder is required by code, even if we're incorrect, that's really going to be a building issue once they get a certified site plan, and they'll address the building code issues at that time. I guess the question for staff would be if they approve it with the ladder, but the ladder can be removed, that can be an administrative approval, or would that require board approval again?
I think it could be administratively approved, depending. See, part of the review process is this is being routed to the technical advisory committee, and this is including building, fire, and all the other disciplines. So they reviewed what they received, so they reviewed it with the ladder. And I think this is something that could be handled at the building permit, but if we approve the letter and it turned out that we do not require a letter, so I think this could be approved administratively.
My recommendation would be to approve the application as it was presented.
Okay.
I think the board's made it clear of their preference, and the applicant has indicated that the ladder removal would be advantageous to them as well. And so if the ladder can be removed after it goes through the permitting review, that can be done administratively, would be my recommendation.
Okay. Great. I think we'll follow that recommendation. As kind of just more of an interest kind of question, but the west side setback is essentially 0. You don't need a setback on the west side at all.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right. Just checking on that. Okay. All right. Well, so as I recall, I was on the board when you first came, and I think we had you come back. And you proposed a lot of changes, and you did that. And I think you did exactly what we asked you to do, and it looks great. And so I don't have any further questions.
Awesome.
I guess we can put it up for vote.
So someone wants to make a motion.
Yes. Would somebody like to make a motion to, yes, either I think it sounds like we're all in approval, so it would be a motion, well,
Whatever motion a board
whatever
member would
motion-
like to make.
Yes, whatever.
All right, I'll move to approval of the level 2 2021-002 site plan, landscape plan, and architectural elevations for Drop 2 Retail, a 1,360 square foot, one-story retail building located at 2 Northwest 18th Avenue, by finding that the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan and meets the criteria set forth in the land development regulations.
Second.
Okay,
Dana Adler is absent, Annette Gray is absent, Adam Nelson,
Yes.
Keith Beal,
Yes.
Jose Alvarez,
Yes.
Linda Purdue,
Yes.
Stephen Cohen.
yes,
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
thank you. All right. Okay. All right, so let's move to any staff updates or project updates that you'd like to discuss.
Yes, we have the signed bylaws, and I think everyone has a copy, so we already have it. And next meeting is business as usual, July 24th, the fourth Wednesday, and August 28th. For the July one, we have tentative 2 applications so far, so yeah, we do have it. And that's it.
So what are we looking at, these bylaws? What has changed is why are we?
I don't believe there's any substantive changes. I mean, you can see these were actually approved by commission back in March.
Okay.
Just that we try to adopt or readopt the bylaws every 2 years.
Mhm.
And so I think these are just being provided so you have a copy in case you didn't already.
Okay.
I have another question. How often do we have to recertify with the ethics?
Rochelle, I think it's every 2 years as well. But Rochelle, do you?
I believe it's when the board members, each time a new board member comes in, I thought.
Well, they have to do that when
I didn't think that.
they first become a board member, but they do need to recertify, and I believe it's every 2 years.
That I'd have to confirm.
Okay.
Because I got something in my email about redoing it, and I've not been here 2 years yet. So I was curious as to whether I needed to do that or if it was just a friendly reminder that you need to
I
do that.
think what they're doing is they're switching from, it used to be a hard copy that you filled out and mailed back in, and now it's all done online, which I can't get online to do it. I keep getting some message, like, come back later. So I'm gonna try again later, but I think that's why, because I did mine recently, and then I just had to redo it again. So I think maybe that's why we have to do it.
I'll find out. I can email
Yeah,
you
if we
all
can get
the-
if we can get clarification on whether we need to do it again or not, that'd be great.
Okay, any further comments from the board? Attorney?
Nothing,
Good.
Chair.
Okay. All right, well, this officially adjourned the meeting.
Thank you.